Hi boys and girls, today we are on lesson 3. We're kind of skipping over lesson 2 where we're talking about the short O sound, but we're going to review a little bit about that before we move on to lesson 3 completely. But first, we're going to start with our alphabet strip. Here's our alphabet strip that we saw last time. How many letters does in the alphabet? Does anybody remember? There's 26 letters in the alphabet. You can count them, and once you learn to count them, you just will start learning and remembering because we're going to talk about it every day. So you're going to know there's 26 letters. All right, put your index finger on the A and count the letters with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Good job. Now can we name the vowels? Remember the vowels are in red. We have A, E, I, O, and U. Do you remember what the letters in black are called and all the other letters? Those are consonants. Good job. And who remembers the initial sound at or initial letter at the beginning of the alphabet? It's the A. And what about our last letter? Z. You got it. All righty. Let's point and we're going to say the alphabet together. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Good job. All right, now I'm going to say some words, and I want you to tell me what initial or beginning sound you're hearing when I say them. Chip, chip, chair, and cheese. What sound are you hearing at the beginning of these words? Ch. That's right. All right, the next words we're going to talk about, we're going to do the same thing. Ship, share, and she. What are you hearing there in the beginning? Sh, which is a little bit different than ch, which we just heard. Next we have thin, thank, and thumb. What are we hearing in there? The sound. All right. Next, I'm going to give you a sound and I want you to tell me what sound you're hearing. What sound do you hear when I say N? That's right. All right, we're going to get out our worksheet. We're on lesson 3, like I said in the beginning. It says it right here. And on number 1, we're going to write down what sound we hear when we hear that sound. It should be an N. And it looks like this. An N. We're going to write a lowercase n. Next, I want you to write down what you hear when you hear the ah sound. That's the short letter that I was talking about in the beginning. Ah. If you aren't sure, it's the O, like for octopus. Which brings me to our spelling card. We're not going to go over the whole assignment for the short sound of the letter O, but I think that's because a lot of you already know it. Here we have our O. There's a brev on top of it, which tells us that our O makes the short O sound, which is ah. And our picture is right here. Does anyone know what it is? Has 8 legs, 8 tentacles. It's an octopus. So when we see this picture card, we're going to say octopus, ah. So help us remember the ah sound for octopus. Good job. All right, so we know the short sound is ah. Who can tell me some words? Can you think of some words that start with ah? Good job. All right, all vowels have at least 2 sounds, a long sound and a short sound. So the short sound was the ah and octopus, and today we're going to learn the long O sound. I'll say some words and then you echo them for me. Listen for the sound that you hear when I say these words. Oval, oval, over, over, open, open. All right, what sound are you hearing in there? Are you hearing the long O? Good job. All right, so the long sound is simply the vowel's name, an O. Put your finger on your neck and say O. O. Remember how we talked about vibrations and if they're voiced or unvoiced? If we feel the vibration in our throat, then it's voiced. Do you feel a vibration? Oh, I do. So that means it's a voiced letter. Good job. All right, next I'm going to write some words. We have no, so, and go. Do you see the second letter of each of our words is an O, and it's saying its name. O. All right. So looking at the alphabet strip, is our O a vowel or a consonant? We've already talked about this a little bit, but let's look again. O. It's in red, and we talked about how our red letters are vowels. So that is a vowel. Good job. All righty. Next, we're going to talk about our keyword picture. I'm going to give you a little clue. I didn't do this with octopus, but we did it the other day with nest. I'm going to give you a little clue, and I'm going to see if you know what we're talking about. So this is a type of clothing. They're like a pair of loose pants with suspenders attached. They can be worn over other clothes. What do you think they are? Have you ever heard of them? They're overalls. Good job. So when you see this card, we're going to say overalls. O. So the keyword overalls helps us remember the O sound because overalls starts with O. All right, get out your worksheet. And on number 3, I want you to write down the sound you hear when I say O. Did I trick you? It's just the letter O. Good job. All right. Next, we're going to look at number 4 on our picture. This one might be a little tricky. It's a door, but what is going on with the door? Is the door open? All right, so I want you to write down the letter for the sound when I say open, open, and we're hearing the O sound. So we want to write an O. Here, money is always hard to tell what it is when it's on a copy like this, but I'm going to tell you this is a nickel. Nickel. Let's write down the sound we hear when we say that. Did you get an N? Good job. All right, now what is our last one? Again, that might be a little tricky if you can't really see it and you're not exactly sure what it is, but I'm going to tell you that it's an otter. 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 What sound are we hearing there? I hear an O. Good job. All righty. Let's take our board back. I'm going to write on the board the word no. Do you see a vowel in this word? I do. It's right here. All right. Is it followed by a consonant? Followed would be after the vowel. No, we have nothing there. So when a vowel is not followed by a consonant, we code it by using a straight line called a macron. All right, the macron tells us that the O says its name. So what letter is this? We say O when we see it. And then the vowel is accented because it's a one-syllable word, and all one-syllable words have an accent. All right, so let's blend these sounds. We know N and O. No. Did you get no? Good job. All right, so let's say that I'm the letter O. If there's no consonant to stop me here, then I'm going to say my name. But what happens if I ran into a consonant? Let's say we had a consonant there. Then the O does not say its name, and it would get a brev, and it would be an n-a-t, not. That's a word you're going to learn a little bit more later on. All right. So let's code some words. Let's look at number 7. Well, we just did number 7, but we're going to do it again together. We have no on number 7. So there's no consonant to stop it, so we know that it gets a macron, and we know that the O says its name. Our next one is on. We're on number 8. There is a consonant to stop it, so we know it gets a brev, and it's the short O sound, which is on. Now looking at this picture, do we see something that would match? Does no match a light switch that's flipped up? What happens when your light switch is flipped up? Your light is on. So we can draw a line from on to the picture. Good job. All right, on number 9, let's look at number 9. We're going to put an O on number 9 as our first letter. And then what sound does that make? Ah. And then we're going to write an N. This is just practicing writing our letters. O-N. We spelled on. All right. Our next word is going to be an N, and then O. O. Let's look at this picture over here. Does one of these words match our picture? What is the little boy saying to the dog? No. So we can draw a line to match that. Good job. All right. Oh, I just noticed we forgot to do the top. So when we practice writing our O's, they're pretty easy. It's just a circle that starts at the top of our handwriting strip, and it's rounded, and it goes all the way around to the top. See? And then the lowercase just starts below the dotted line, and it's the same thing. So go ahead and maybe practice writing me 2 capital ones and 2 lowercase. Next, on the back of our worksheet, we're going to do the same thing. You can see where my marker bled through. We're going to practice our capital O's and our lowercase O's. And then down here, we're going to write out the sound that we hear when we see each of these pictures. Here we have oatmeal. That's a nut, and off. If you're working at home with your parents, it tells you down here what the words are. And then we're going to match the word to its picture for down here and practice saying those words. All right, I'll see you next time, everybody.